Hello, lords and ladies. It's launch day. Here's your guide to an easy breezy 40-40 challenges. This guide is linked in the description below and has been posted on Reddit. I probably won't be able to get to comments after League launch today since I'll be busy grinding, but I'll be live on Twitch, so if you have any questions, comments, or you just want to say hey, come stop by. twitch.tv/athrostv. Link in the description below. I want to quickly go over this guide, how to use the guide, how it works, how you can easily get all 40 challenges done to unlock your armor sets and your totem. But first, here's the main landing page. This is the page you'll see when you open the guide. It has an overview of all the challenges along with my categorization and difficulty tiering. The guide is also broken down by individual challenges. You can access any individual challenge page by simply clicking the link and the challenge name. It'll direct you to that specific challenge's breakdown, which has more info and goes a little bit more in depth on how to actually complete the challenges. Some pages have pictures, some have videos, some will have videos as soon as I have time to record and upload, and some are just text. So on this main page, you can see that I've categorized the challenges into 5 simple categories. Campaign are the challenges that you can easily complete before you finish the acts. They don't require any mapping and are typically the Welcome to Path of Exile challenges. The Sentinel challenges are challenges that relate to utilizing the new League mechanic of Sentinels. These pages aren't all fully fleshed out yet, but I have gathered all the information possible so you aren't going in fully blind. I will update these pages as I get more info. The Atlas category of challenges includes all challenges that require you to allocate a specific node on the Atlas passive tree. I've made a separate guide including a short video going over how to do all the Atlas challenges at once, utilizing their overlap and synergies. If you wish to do them one at a time, simply navigate to that individual challenges page. The grindy category is, you guessed it, grindy. Luckily, there are only 4-ish grindy challenges this league, and they aren't too bad if you do them alongside your regular mapping. The bosses category is our largest category this league, with 14 boss-related challenges. If your build is not a boss killer, you will probably need a carry for those challenges. I'll be uploading more short clips on the boss fights, mechanics, and challenge completion as the league progresses. If you need a boss carry, stop by the stream and ask. I've also tiered the challenges by difficulty as it relates to the challenge rewards. So if you're pushing for a specific reward, follow the tier list on the side. If you complete only the normal challenges, you'll receive a couple armor pieces and the first totem piece. If you also complete the cruel challenges, you'll get the full first armor set. If you want the fancy armor set, you must also complete the merciless challenges. That'll put you at 38 challenges, and of course, if you want the full-size totem, you must complete the last 2 challenges, the ruthless tier. This is just my initial tiering. I may change it as the league goes on if I notice my estimate of difficulty was incorrect. And that is our challenge guide. Next, I'm going to quickly go over all the pages individually, giving a quick rundown of each challenge. Before I move on, if you liked the video or if this guide has helped you, please leave a like or comment below and share it with a friend or your guildmates. Thank you. Now, let's get started. Overall, these challenges are much more difficult than previous league challenges. It's probably the most difficult set of challenges you've encountered in your time playing Path, unless you were playing in those first 2 or 3 leagues. However, it is very doable to get 40-40 challenges. Simply break the challenges down into small bite-sized pieces, pound them out, and you'll get it done. So we'll start with our first challenge, learning the ropes. This is basically a freebie. First, purchase a gem from a vendor. So this is going to be your, you're turning in Mercy mission. Get your Quicksilver Flask, talk to Nessa, second page of her inventory, buy a gem. Boom, got that part done. Socket a jewel into your passive skill tree. So unlock any jewel socket in your tree and insert any jewel. Doesn't matter if it's a normal jewel, Crimson Viridian Cobalt, or an eye jewel. If you wait until the end game, put your Watcher's Eye as your first jewel. Any cluster jewel will count. All you got to do is drop a jewel in your passive tree. Then, equip an item with 4 or more linked sockets. You might not get a 4 link in Act 1, maybe not even in Act 2. You should get one by Act 3. It's just any item with 4 linked sockets. That's challenge 1 done. Second challenge is the basics of Sentinels, a Sentinel challenge. So, deploy a Sentinel. You're going to use your Sentinel hotkey to deploy a Sentinel. I'm sure there's going to be pop-ups telling you how to do it. I think y'all can get that one. Defeat a rare monster which is empowered by a Sentinel. So, this wants you to activate your Sentinel near a rare monster, specifically, and then defeat that rare. You don't have to use your Apex Sentinel, which only targets rares and uniques. Just your normal Sentinel, your Stalker, next to a rare, should get it. Then, defeat a Rogue Exile empowered by a Sentinel. Activate your Sentinel near a Rogue Exile, and then defeat that Rogue Exile. Depending on how your character scales, you might not want to do that in the first couple acts. If your character isn't ready yet, give it a little bit of time. Then you'll defeat an act boss, which is empowered by a Sentinel. That you have to do during the acts. Empower your act boss, and if you have to, Dormammu, I've come to bargain her 100 times, then that's what you do. But activate your Sentinel on an act boss, then defeat it. Vendor recipes. Magic boots with at least 10% increased movement speed. This is a very important one. You'll vendor any normal boots, a white pair of boots, any Quicksilver Flask, and an Orb of Augmentation. Orb of Chance. Vendor 2 ID'd rares with the same name. So the easiest way to do that is just wait for one of your strong boxes to roll the mirrored prefix, and then it'll drop duplicated items. Pick up 2 rares with the same name, vendor them, you're good to go. Then a unique item. There are a lot of different ways to create a unique item in the vendor. This is the easiest, and you can do it as early as Act 1. As early as you get Rain of Arrows. So, Orb of Chance, a 1% Rain of Arrows, a rare Onyx Amulet, and a normal white Sharktooth Quiver will give you Hiri's Ire. Vendor a skill gem. All you gotta do, throw in a skill gem, add an Orb of Scouring, you're done. Don't use the Orb of Scouring on the skill gem. Vendor them together. Defeat act bosses. So this just wants you to go through the first 5 acts and defeat the 5 act bosses. Act 1, Merveil. Act 2, Val Oversoul. Act 3, Dominus. Act 4, Malachi. And Act 5, Kitava. I've included the links to their pages in case you haven't fought them before or you're struggling. Now you know. And a little tip for each of them. For Merveil, cold res helps, so if you can get a Sapphire ring, awesome. For the Val Oversoul, dodge his big slams and his rocks, you'll be good to go. It may take you a couple phases if your DPS isn't high. That's okay. Just watch out for the slams and the falling rocks. For Dominus, when he says Fist of God, and he waves his giant lightning hand in the air, run away, because that slam will kill you. Lightning res helps, and don't stand in the blood rain. For Malachi, make sure you dodge all the tentacles and the red circles. For Kitava, dodge everything. For Complete Encounters 1, we have complete a Val side area, which is fairly easy. Go in any Val side area when you see one spawn, kill the unique monster, open the Val vessel. Next, you need to choose an ascendancy, which is to complete the first 6 trials. Enter the Lord's Labyrinth, kill Lazaro, and activate your Ascendancy Altar. You'll get that done in Act 3. Then complete an encounter at the Bestiary Blood Altar. So once you've had Einhar a couple times, just head over to your Bestiary, do any recipe in your Blood Altar, and kill the monsters. Defeat an Incursion Architect. That's just the baby boss. So enter any incursion, even the first one Alva pops up, go in, kill one of the architects, you're done. For the Use Sentinels challenge, it just gives you a giant list of all the Sentinel base types, and you have to use them each once. Defeat Act Bosses 2. So it's the same thing again, just defeating the Act bosses 6 through 10. Act 6, kill Brine King. I've included links to the encounters again. And also, just a little tip. For Brine King, if you have some cold and some lightning res, it'll make it easier. What you also can do, if you have extra portal scrolls, is during his phase when he becomes invulnerable, portal out, portal back in, use your grace period, so you can't be damaged by the waves of the lightning. For Act 7, Arakali, if there's a purple ability, dodge it. If you have Chaos Res, it makes it easier, but you really don't need Chaos Res. If you get a bunch of web stacks on you, stand on Yena. She'll be a little fox. Stand on top of her and she'll burn your webs off your feet. Then you can move fast again. For Lunaris and Solaris, cold and fire res helps. Dodge any of the big spooky lasers. That one's fine. For the Depraved Trinity, avoid the big red balls. Those hurt the worst. If there's abilities on the ground, dodge them. Not too bad. For Kitava, again, just avoid your big red circles, and you should be okay. The next is a challenge relating to the new magic and rare monster modifiers. And it wants you to defeat monsters with each of these modifiers. And then these seem to be that kind of rare ones. Aberrath touched, Arakali touched, Brine King touched. We have Lunaris touched in here, Innocence touched, Invulnerable, Void Spawn of Abixoth, Tugahama. Like, these are rough ones that were your combined ones in Arch Nemesis League. It's just kind of a grindy challenge. You just gotta wait till they all spawn. If you allocate Valley of Darkness, you'll get an additional modifier on all rares, which may make this challenge go by quicker. Breach Encounters. So, this is the first of our Atlas Encounters. As with all Atlas Encounters, I do have a guide that goes over doing all of them together. If you don't want to do them all together, that's okay. This is what you need individually. For complete 100 breaches, that's simple, activate 100 breaches. If you allocate the breach nodes on the passive tree, you have an increased chance at spawning breaches. You'll get it done faster. Defeat Chayula, who dreamt, outside of its domain. So that means a wild chalupa, not a breach stone. Allocate gatekeepers, Chayula breach chance, and breach boss chance for the best chance at spawning chalupa. Breach lords now have an icon on the minimap when they spawn. Also wants you to defeat Zestjula. Zestjula only spawns in the wild, so it's the same thing. Allocate gatekeepers and breach boss chance, increase her spawn rate. You should be good to go. Complete a flawless breach stone. So that's inner flawless breach stone and defeat the breach lord that's inside. You can only get flawless breach stones from Maven's Invitation the Hidden. So you might want to do this with your guildies. Flawless breach stones can get kind of expensive, and if you only need it for the challenge, maybe go in with a couple of your buddies, split the cost, do it together. Next Atlas encounter is defeat possessed rogue exiles. For this one, all you need on the tree is Exiled Will, and Ruckus really helps because that spawns an extra 20 rogue exiles in your map. Exiled Will causes all rogue exiles to be possessed. You just gotta allocate Exiled Will, Ruckus, and then wait till you kill them all. Next Atlas encounter is Essence. Crack open 150 Essence Monolith. This one's pretty easy. Just open 150 Essence monsters. Allocate Prolific Essence for a free Essence on each map. Defeat an Essence monster with 5 rare mods, so you have to allocate Valley of Darkness. Chris said that rare monsters will spawn with 3 or 4 modifiers. The only way to bump it up to 5 is to allocate Valley of Darkness, so it spawns with 4 or 5. Then you just gotta kill an Essence monster that happened to spawn with 5 mods. Defeat an Essence monster that has 8 Essences and an area level of 80 or higher. You'll need Crystal Lattice, which gives you a chance at an extra 3 Essences, and then you just gotta get lucky. Find an Essence monster with 8 Essences and defeat it. If you find an Essence monster in the wild with 7 Essences, you can use a Remnant of Corruption and hope it adds an additional Essence, which would be 8. Then defeat an Essence monster that has at least 2 of the following Essences: Hysteria, Horror, Delirium, Insanity. Those are your upgraded tier. So I'll again allocate Crystal Lattice to give you some more Essences on the mob. Find one that has 2 of the purple Essences, which are your Meds, Misery, Envy, Dread, and Scorn. Remnant of Corruption. Hope it upgrades. Next is Assemble Sentinels. We don't know a lot of information here, but assemble a Sentinel using a power core. That's easy. Use a power core to combine 2 depleted Sentinels, assembling a new Sentinel based on your consumed Sentinels. And then assemble a Sentinel that can't naturally be obtained. We don't know exactly how to do that yet. When I have more info, I'll add it. Assemble a rare Sentinel with 6 mods. I believe that's just get lucky. Just assemble a bunch of Sentinels until you happen to get one. We'll find out more. Excuse me. And then assemble a unique Sentinel. I believe, again, you just have to get lucky. Assemble a bunch of Sentinels. Once we know more for sure, I'll add more info. Domination Encounters. Domination Encounters is simple in that all you have to do is allocate all that glitters, the node that gives you the Covetous Shrine buff. But it helps if you take Supplication and the Shrine duration nodes around it, so that your Shrine buff lasts longer. You'll need to kill a map boss, a Breach boss in the wild, an Essence monster, a Metamorph, a Delirium, and a Shaper Guardian while you have the Covetous buff Shrine. I say Shaper Guardian because it's going to be a lot easier to kill one of the Shaper Guardians in your buff time than it will be an Elder Guardian, simply because the Elder Guardians have those stupid long invulnerability transition phases. Metamorph Encounters. Defeat a Metamorph which is comprised of 5 unique body parts. This one is worded a little oddly because any Metamorph you do in Tane's Laboratory would have 5 unique body parts. I think what they're trying to say here is you must defeat a Metamorph in a map which is comprised of 5 unique body parts, which would mean you need 5 different boss organs, 1 in each Metamorph crafting slot. Easiest way to do that would be a twinned Precinct, as Precinct has the most natural bosses. Twin it gives you a bunch of bosses. A lot of chances. If it's not requiring you to do it in a map, then both of these challenges are the same. We'll see. Defeat a Metamorph, which has 5 different rare modifiers. Just make sure each organ mod has at least 1, and you'll be good. Defeat a Metamorph and a Rogue Metamorph within 5 seconds of one another. Allocate Escaped Experiment and that whole wheel. Give you a 36% chance to spawn a Rogue Metamorph. You're gonna kite your Rogue Metamorph until you can craft the big one and kill him at the same time. The Metamorph you craft for that map doesn't have to have good rewards. You're trying to get the challenge. Get your challenge done. Defeat a Metamorph in Tane's Laboratory. So collect at least 1 of each organ type from map bosses, head to Tane's Lab, create and defeat the Metamorph. Harvest Encounters. Harvest Encounters is going to be a little slower. simply because defeat a harvest boss is pure RNG. The more you increase your harvest chance and the more you increase your crops, the better chance you have, but you still just gotta run until you get it. Allocate Heart of the Grove so that when you do defeat that harvest boss, it guarantees your Sacred Blossom, which you need for the Heart of the Grove. Harvest the Heart of the Grove. Use the Sacred Blossom to go kill Straubby. Then sacrifice a stack of at least 4 div cards to receive double that amount back. So you'll need the craft that says sacrifice up to half a stack of div cards and receive up to double back. Easiest way to do it, put in 4, get out 8. That's a 1 in 9 chance. It may take you 9 tries. It may take you 100 tries. It may take you 1 try. That's how you gotta get it done. And then harvest at least 7 crops in a single Sacred Grove. I believe harvest spawns 3 to 5 crops by default. If you allocate bumper crop, that kicks it up to 4 to 6. And then Heart of the Grove gives you a 10% chance for one not to wilt. So if you get a spawn with 7 and you have Heart of the Grove, you have a 46% chance that at least one of them will double, and you'll be good with 7 crops. For Delirium Encounters, this one's a little bit harder. Defeat a map boss while delirious. That's easy. Don't run through any random spawn Delirium Mirror, kill the boss. Then complete 100% delirious tier 16 map with at least 4 modifiers. That means if you get 5 delirium orbs onto a tier 16, or drop a tier 16 that has some percent delirious and finish it up to 100, and then make sure it's rare. You want 4 mods. Complete wave 30 of a simulacrum. Do simulacrum. Obtain at least 200 simulacrum sprinters from a single delirium mirror. This one is a little bit harder. You don't often drop 200 splinters in a single stack. So for this, you're going to need to allocate Delusions of Persecution, Descent into Madness, and Singular Entity. Then uber juice your map. So this is one guide. I will update it if I need to, but this should work. So for Scarabs, you'll want your Ritual Vessel, an Abyss, a Harbinger Scarab, and a Blight Scarab. If you have Gilded, do Gilded for all of them, for all 3. For your Ritual Vessel, you'll want a Ritual Vessel that has a lot of mobs in it, so that you get all those additional spawns in each of your 4 rituals. For Sextants, do the Guaranteed Harvest Sextant, the Guaranteed Breach Sextant, added Harbingers, and added Beyonds. For the Curate Craft, you'll want to craft your Delirium Mirror, force it, and then for the Master, choose Alva, because the Incursions spawn a lot of mobs. On your map, you'll want to roll Beyond and at least 30% pack size. If you can get a Breach, a Harbinger, or an Abyss implicit, that will help a lot. And then that's the tree I have set up. It buffs Ritual, Abyss, and Harbinger, and Blight and Beyond just enough so that you can get the maximum juice out of this map and hopefully get your 200 splinters. I'll post a video doing it as soon as I get it done. Then we have the Recombinators, which will drop as part of Sentinel. It just wants you to combine 2 specific types of item. The first one is the challenge will be changed. We'll see what happens. Then combine an item with a fractured modifier, so not any item with a fractured mod, with an item that has been split. Okay, with any item that has been split. Then combine a corrupted item with an item that has a synthesis implicit modder. So corrupted item with a synth mod. Influenced item, and then an item has an abyss socket. So we have an influenced item here, and then a Stygian Vice here has an abyssal socket. I believe that's an easy way to cheese it. If not, you'll need to get a rare that has the mod has an abyssal socket. use Eldritch Altars is an Atlas encounter, even though it doesn't seem like it. It mandates that you allocate specific notables. So for the first one, activate 250 Searing Exalt Altars with Wrath of the Cosmos allocated. So Wrath of the Cosmos is for each altar you click on, you take more damage but better loot. If you have a very squishy build, this may take you a while, as you'll probably only be able to do 1 or 2 or 3 altars. If you're a tank build, you can click every altar as you run through. It's still a little spooky, but I think y'all can handle it. Then you'll need to activate 250 Eater of the Worlds altars with Eldritch Gaze allocated. So allocate Eldritch Gaze, then use your Eater influence on your maps, activate 250 Eater altars. Eldritch Gaze doubles your downsides, gives you 2 downsides, so it can very quickly add up downsides. Make sure you're not choosing ones that would ruin your build. Then again, while you have Wrath of the Cosmos, so these two work together, you'll need to kill the map boss in a tier 16 after you've clicked 6 altars. At 6 altars, you're taking 150% increased damage, so that is a little spooky. Then your Eater challenge, defeat a tier 16 map boss in a rare map after having activated at least 4 Eater of Worlds altars, which have modifiers that affect the map boss with Eldritch Gaze allocated. So it says altars which have modifiers that affect the map boss. I'm not sure if you have to choose the map boss modifiers or not. We'll see. Next is sheer arrogance. It wants you to do all the invitations. So you have your Infinite Hunger invitation, your Eater of Worlds invitation, Black Star invitation, Searing Exarch invitation, and then the 6 Mavens invitations: Formed, Twisted, Forgotten, Hidden, Feared, and Elder Slayers. Then we get into our boss challenges. This is Uber Shaper. Allocate Cosmic Wounds, which upgrades Shaper to Uber Shaper, and then kill Uber Shaper. Then we have Uber Cortex. Allocate Memento Mori, defeat Uber Cortex. Powering the Sentinels. Power up all 3 Sentinel slots. So you'll need to use your filaments to power all 3 Sentinel slots. You can change your filaments at any time, so just once you have enough power, make sure you direct that power to the 3 Sentinel slots, and then go back to your normal filament tree. Then it wants you to reach 30 power units, and the info they gave us was you must complete your Sentinel progression, or complete your progression in the league. That's all they said, so that's all the information I have. Complete your progression with Sentinels to unlock all 30 power units. Once we have more information, I'll include that here. Complete unique maps. It just wants you to do all the unique maps. Most of them are very easy. Most of them are very cheap if you have to buy them. Doriani's Machinarium is very expensive. You're looking at 3x just for a challenge, just for the map. So what you can do is use scouting reports and hope you find it in your Keurig. If you do that, try and share with your guildmates and spread the love. Victor Square is also not in the standard drop pool. Use Agner rods to craft it. If you don't know how, come to the page. Victor Square tells you how. Then we have Uber Sirus. Defeat Sirus, Awakener of Worlds, while the area is level 85. Just do the Sirus encounter. Cosmic Wounds the Elder. Uber Elder. Defeat the Elder in the Shaper's realm while the area is level 85. Allocate Cosmic Wounds, kill Uber Elder. Throw the Gauntlet, that's Uber Maven. Empowered Encounters. So these want you to kill specific bosses while you have 50 empowerment. The base Sentinels you get do not have 50 empowerment. You have to work up to the good Sentinels that have 50 empowerment. It's labeled right there on the Sentinel, so you don't have to look for it. You don't have to worry about not knowing where it is. It's right there on the bar. Just find one with 50 empowerment and make sure you do a map boss, a Delirium boss, a Breach boss, and a Metamorph. If it's easiest to do this Metamorph one while you're forcing Metamorph for your Rogue Metamorph, so you don't have to worry about it, and then Breach boss, while you have all your Breach boss nodes allocated, make sure you have one Sentinel with 50 empowerment, so that when the Breach boss spawns, you have to kill Chalupa and you have to kill Zestula, hit him with a Sentinel. Get 2 for 1. 2 challenges done. Then Thirst for Knowledge, that is your Uber Searing Exarch. Allocate Thirst for Knowledge, defeat Uber Searing Exarch. Insatiable Appetite, that's Uber Eater of Worlds. Allocate Insatiable Appetite and defeat Uber Eater of Worlds. Atlas Grinds. So this one looks spooky, but really all it is run 600 maps, which you do anyway. You already run 600 maps. Activate 1,000 Searing Exarch Altars. That's about 250 maps. 1,000 Eater of Worlds Altars. Again, 250 maps. And then defeat 200 Witness map bosses. That's 200 maps. Light of Dawn for your Searing gives you a couple more altars, chance at altars. Shadow of Hunger gives you better chance at altars. And if you allocate Pay for Play and Captivated Interest, you get better rewards from your Maven Crucibles. So while you're doing them, might as well grab those nodes. Make it worth your time. Defeat the Shaper conditionally while the Maven is witnessing the encounter. So just have Maven witness your Shaper fight. It gets a little bit harder, but it's still Shaper. He's not bad. Without being affected by Shaper's beam, don't get hit by the big laser. There's usually a little bit of a cast time. He stands back where he puts his hands out and Kamehamehas you. Then, without detonating any of the volatile anomalies, just kite. You're just gonna be running in circles for those cold, trying to not get hit by those cold balls. And then, while both you and the Shaper are chilled, so make sure you can chill Shaper, and then get yourself chilled. I linked the chill page if you don't know how to chill Shaper, chill yourself. There's easy ways to do it in there. I think standing on the anomaly voids chills you. Then complete encounters 2. Complete an 8 mod Blight Ravaged map. So get a Blight Ravaged map, rare, alk it, and then val it. Hope it hits 8 mods. If it doesn't, try again. Then defeat an Expedition unique boss in an area level 81 or higher. So that's just defeat a unique Expedition boss. Here's the trade search. You can open that up once Sentinel launches, and that should give you a search for any logbook that's 81 plus that has a boss in it. Defeat at least 10 unique bosses in a domain of timeless conflict with at least 4 unrelenting emblems. So that means you gotta run an Uber Legion 4-way or a 5-way and kill 10 bosses in it. Then defeat all. All is the bottom delve boss. Go find him. Start digging. All will count shared. If you have a buddy that likes delve, get in on his all. It was shared last week. I'm sure it's shared again. Defeat Blackstar conditionally. So all of these have, while the area has at least 80 quant. So just Alkan Scour or Chaos Spam until it hits 80% quant. Watch for mods that kill you, but you should be good. You can't chisel them, so you can't just cheese it by getting 60 plus 20. Has to hit the raw 80. Then, without gaining more than 5 stacks of Crushing Darkness or Annihilating Light, that's standing in the red and blue areas. Just kill her quickly and don't make sure you're not standing in any of the red or blue zones. Then, while you have at least 30 stacks of Annihilating Light and no stacks of Darkness. So stand in the red area to get 30 stacks of light and don't walk in the blue areas at all. And then the opposite. For darkness with no light, stand in the blue, stay out of red. Infinite hunger conditionally, same, 80% quant. Without being hit by vomit, just don't get hit, forehead. Listen for his voice lines, he'll yell melt or digestion. Both of those abilities throw vomit, run away. Then while you have at least 50 stacks of corrosive hunger, so that's when he drags you under, you start stacking up corrosive hunger, so wait until you get 50 stacks, then kill him. Without gaining more than 20 stacks of corrosive hunger, and after having been pulled under at least 3 times, I don't, unless they've changed it, this is nearly impossible. So just as soon as you get pulled under, relog. When you come back, it'll put you back in the normal fight. Use your grace period to wait for all the water to go away again, and then you'll be okay. And then you have to do that 3 times. You have to do the loop 3 times. Searing Exarch conditionally, 80 quant again, without being affected by cauterized flesh. So that's the Searing runes that come across the ground. Avoid those. This one is rough. A rolling meteors phase without being hit by any rolling meteors while Searing Exarch is below 20% health and without using any of your movement skills. Excuse me. So that's fucking hard. But we can easily cheese it by just getting him to under 20% HP, wait for a meteor phase, relog. Use your grace period to avoid meteors. If you're a Slayer with the Headsman node allocated, you cannot do this challenge because you cannot get him under 20% HP. Call a buddy. Then, without being hit by Annihilation, he yells Annihilation and then uses Blazing Salvo, dodge. Then we have Eater of Worlds conditionally. Again, 80% quant. After beginning to drown 10 times. So beginning to drown with Eater is the water orbs that flow all over the map. Touch it and then run away. If you stay in the orb for 3 seconds, you instantly die. Then, without being affected by more than 10 stacks of Inescapable Doom. Inescapable Doom, he resets the arena, he teleports to the middle, and he channels a big beam on you. Maven spawns purple orbs, stand on the purple orbs quickly, and you'll be good. Then with Unique Boss has 70% increase AoE. You can do this one and this one at the same time. Just make sure when you're rolling your map, it hits Unique Boss has 70% AoE. Or if you don't land it, just alt spam it till it hits. Empowered map bosses. These are the unique Sentinels that empower a specific map boss. So these are the names of the unique Sentinels, and these are the names of the map bosses. So you have to use Angel of Vengeance on Sunkyle or Asha in Park map. Use the Epiphany on Malagaro, the Mutilator, in Overgrown Shrine map. Twisted Trinity, Amalgam, Tempest, Stone Occurrence, Narcissist, Chevron, Depraved Duidri, Raging Inferno, Fire and Fury, and Insomnia with Restless Shade. It's not too bad. I hope. I have no idea. In the video, it didn't look that bad. Defeat Uber Elder conditionally. So, after defeating 3 Madness Propagators within 5 seconds. Madness Propagators are these little squiddies. Kill 3 squids back to back. Then, without taking damage from Shaper Beam, again, if you practice on Shaper, not taking any damage from his beam. Same thing here. Then this one requires you to do it 2 separate ways. Without detonating any volatile anomalies, which are the little chill balls, and then after detonating 20. So without hitting any of them means you have to kite while you're killing. After detonating 20, really be careful about stacking them in one spot. 20 on the ground can easily cover the arena. Then we have Maven conditionally, without being hit by Cascade of Pain, so just avoid Cascade of Pain. After successfully completing the memory game 5 times, this means you gotta kill her a little bit slowly. If you're insta-phasing her, You won't get access to the memory game 5 times. So, just succeed 5 times. You'll be good. Then while affected by Maven's punishment, it's a debuff that she gives you. That's what it looks like. So I'll look for that debuff, then kill her. Without being affected by Gravity Well. Good luck. Endgame Grinds. Hit level 100. The less you die, the better, so tankiness is beneficial. Coward's Trial plus the Deadly Nightmare Atlas passive will get you a long ways. After that, Legion 5 ways to finish it off. Then, next in-game grind, use the Divine Font in the in-game lab 250 times. So that's the Uber Lab Enchanter. The twice enchanted Dark Shrine buff allows you to use it twice, which should count twice for this challenge. I believe, I'm not 100% sure, that's why I didn't write it down, but I believe the Gift of the Goddess that gives you 6 enchants will count. It is technically a different labyrinth, so I didn't want to include it, but I believe it does count here. And 6 divided by 250 is a lot less than 250. Then defeat 105 mod rares in tier 16 maps. This sounds like a joke. Like, this is going to be done way before some of the other challenges are. Because if rare mods spawn with 3 or 4 mods, you allocate Valley of Darkness, they're going to spawn with 4 or 5 mods. And how many rares do you kill in each tier 16 in each map? This seems very, excuse me, I'll scratch my eye. This seems like a very easy challenge. I believe y'all can get that done quickly. Defeat 100 Uber bosses. That's it. Defeat 100 Ubers. This will count in parties, so share with your buddies. I don't know if it counts Uber Elder, and I don't know if it counts Uber Etziri. That's why I have them as question marks over here. If it does, this is also a joke challenge, because 100 Uber Etziri, that's like 20 minutes. It's like what? 4 minutes a run. That's 400 minutes, a couple hours. That's a joke. Solo delve, depth 600. Delve down to 600. And that's your challenges, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Thanks for hanging out. As always, I appreciate you. I love you. And stay sane, Exile.